in recording.
Lost them. Okay, so we had we were encountering a lot of problems. We had really big, awesome ideas, but our player base and our staff were the numbers were getting smaller. Um, so we were realizing soon that
Oh my god.
we had all these different
Recording.
factions we wanted to do. We had, we had the bandits and everything, and we didn't have the people to help run it, and we didn't have the player base to keep them floating. So we had like one person in each group, and that's not fun. So Kyle and Bub addressed it first. Actually, Bub was the one who was like, "We need to talk about this," and we never actually did we? I don't think we did.
Sure didn't.
But so Bub addressed it first, and then Kyle and I were talking about it, and we put together this idea and approached it, brought it to Logan, and he actually really liked it right away, which was shocking and amazing. But, so,
I love
first, say what?
I'm just saying hello to him when he watches this video.
Oh, Logan. No, I was expecting him to, because Logan usually the first thing he does is like, okay, well we have we have this we have to think about, and this we have to think about, and this we have to think about. Did you think about that yet? And we're like, no. So, but he didn't do that this time. He's like, oh my god, if we do this, we need to do da 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 da, and he got all gung ho about it and excited. It was really cool.
Yes.
So that's how I was like, this is an awesome idea. But first we have some changes to staff. We lost a lot of people, so staff right now is Logan, myself, Matt, Kyle, Bub, and Cheese. We're trying to get a hold of Kai to see if he's still interested, but he hasn't gotten back to us yet. So Kai, if you're watching this, please.
Yes. Be there.
We don't want to lose Kai. He's cool. We've also
Actually, do that, Bob, if you can.
So we've also promoted 2 people. Bub is now head mod. And Kyle is now an Yay! So, no, it's this past month especially has been really, really rough for myself, and I know that, Logan's dealing with a lot of stuff, and Bub and Kyle have been a huge help. Even before this past month, just Bub works really hard to do a lot of things to help us out and to help players out and everything, and it's really cool. And Kyle helps Logan and I out a lot with a lot of background stuff. So it's well deserved, I think. So the changes that we're doing, we are, instead of being one empire with a whole bunch of divisions, the whole thing is going to be one kingdom. So when people join the server, they're automatically a kingdom, like in the kingdom. There's only one. There's no lone wolves. There's no bandits. There's no mercenaries. None of that exists anymore. It's gone. The reason we're doing this is because we're taking the story that we still have not released yet, and I'm glad we haven't, because if we would have released story, we would have had to change it because we've lost so many people. So we still have this storyline in our head, but what we're doing now is we're going back in time, before the war, before the division, before everything. We're taking our story and we're going back to before it all happened. So this is almost like a prequel of what you guys have already seen. So we're eventually going to get back to that point, but we really need to build up active players, get our community back to where it was, and we need to start working on getting more staff members to help us lead those things. So we're going to be looking at people for staff really closely coming up really soon. So we are going to eventually, like I said, be at the area where we're going to need the bandit leaders, and we're going to need all that stuff. So that's why we're doing this. So when people join, they're going to be in the kingdom. We haven't decided if it's going to be Ultimus Kingdom or Ultimus Empire. It was an empire before, but an empire usually is an empire is like means that it's one giant thing with little segments inside. Um, and that's not what we are anymore. So I think it's just going to be a kingdom, and it'll become an empire after the war. Um, so I'm going to call it a kingdom. So it's one kingdom. Logan is still the ruler. We haven't decided it. We haven't talked about yet, actually, if he's still going to keep the emperor title or if he's going to be a king. But he's the main ruler, um, as of now. I'm his steward, so I'm his number two. I help him deal with business and politics and all that stuff. Um, Kyle is going to be the leader of the guard. And we don't really need an army because we are the only kingdom. So we have no threat. We have no we don't need to build up an army. But we are going to try to find a plugin that makes small attacks possible. So like we're going to try to get it so maybe NPCs will start attacking. And mobs will. So we're going to work on that to make it to give it more of a
Or we could give zombies part 4.
Say what?
We could give zombies part 4.
That would be horrible.
We could make mob really hard. But no, we're gonna add things in. We're gonna try to add things in to make it more of a threat. To make just to give it more of a. I can't think of the word. It needs to be more complicated. Because we are mainly we were a PvP server, so we do have a lot of players that like PvP and that like the fighting and that like the battles and stuff, and we're still going to have that, but it's going to be on a smaller level than we planned before. Matt is going to be the treasurer, so he's in charge. He's going to be doing his favorite thing in the whole world. He's going to be building a chest room, and he's going to manage the chest room. And whenever we have projects that need to be done, he's going to be the person responsible of delegating jobs to gather resources and stuff. And he's also going to be collecting taxes and stuff. So I think instead of doing like renting plots, Matt's going to have to go around and probably collect taxes from people for whatever reason they're. Which also brings me to you don't have to rent plots anymore. It's when you come on the server. When you come on the server, it's going to be more of a survival feel. So you come on, you spawn in the town. The castle's up on a hill behind it, I think. Behind it? Somewhere around it. And you can explore the map, and you can build a base anywhere. You don't have to stay in a certain spot. So it's going to have that survival feel, like that survival aspect. It's going to be heavy RPG and probably light PvP. My notes closed. Oh, that's not sorry. Bub is going to run a smaller area, like community outside, like way on the outskirts of the map. So the location of that area is going to begin as top secret. I'm sure people, not top secret, but we're not going to announce it. People will have to actually go find it. And if they can find it, and you want to be there, you have to talk to Bub about it. Basically, what that little town is going to do is gather resources that we don't have available at the center of the map. And basically, we're going to caravan those things back and forth. So we're going to supply his town with stuff, and he's going to supply us with stuff. But we're all part of the same kingdom still. He's just dealing with business outside of the central part of the map. So if you join his little town, He's also going to have his little. He's going to have to build up his own little guard out there to protect them from stuff. And there's going to need to be people caravanning back and forth. We're also hoping once we build up the player base that we can start slipping in a little bit of bandits here and there to try getting bandits created to intercept those caravans and make that a riskier thing and bring more PvP into play. Cheese will work with Kyle as the leader of the guards.
Yeah,
Kyle will be the leader, but Cheese will work with him. What?
He'll be the good cop to my bad cop.
Yes. So we're trying to give people roles that fit what they had before, so that way when the division happens, it all makes sense. So we kind of break off and do the things we were doing before. So a lot of our roles and the jobs we do fit in with what we were doing before. We're just, instead of divided, we're united, kind of. There's still going to be a lot of animosity between players and characters. Kyle and I are going to have issues. We're not going to get along. And so there's going to be that character play will come into play. So even though we're united, there's going to be a lot of division inside of it. So little battles will take place, and we're hoping that when the big war happens, as we start playing, my character and Kyle's character are going to start developing our sides. So, people will take, hopefully, either my side or Kyle's side in all of this. And that'll be the beginning of our kingdoms when we do split off. And whoever stays neutral will start as lone wolves and stuff. So this is basically, instead of starting kingdoms with nobody like we did before, when we do split off and go back to the old map, we're hopefully going to have a group of people that follow us into our areas. So Bub will build up his people, and so he could start off with his mercenaries in the future. And Cheese will build up his rangers. Kyle will build up his, people. And I'll build up my amazing people. But yeah, so hey, no, this is my forum. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much what we're going for with this. Does anyone have questions? Nothing? Okay. There were so many questions yesterday.
It's just, you're amazing at explaining things, so.
So at my town, I'm gonna need to do a little bit of something, and I'm pretty sure you already know what I'm talking about.
No. He wants to blow things up.
In a controlled
Have we
manner.
mentioned Bob's Town?
Say what?
Yeah.
Did you mention Bob's Town?
I did.
Okay, I was zoned out for half of it. I apologize.
I can't say what he's going to supply us with because that'll give a hint as to where he is.
Oh,
Involves
So-
TNT.
So, but his job, yeah, he's gonna have to supply us with stuff that we don't really have readily available for us. But yeah, what was it? And then we haven't discussed it yet, but I don't think raiding is going to be allowed in this one, just because we're united. We're united, and we're not going to be attacking other kingdoms
okay.
or jumping walls. So LWC is automatically locking chests and everything now.
Okay, and there's no limit.
There's no limits. All the limits are gone. So we still need to do a lot of work in console, in console for the configurations and stuff. None of that has been touched yet. So if you log into the server anytime soon, you're going to see all your tags and everything is still going to be there. You might still have your homes. But it's all it's going to be gone soon.
Yeah.
And it's all going to change. And what else was I going to say? Oh, teleporting is still going to be off.
Yeah.
But you are going to be allowed to have portals. So everyone can have their nether portals. But yeah, teleporting will be off. And because we're one kingdom, we're going to have underground systems, like rail systems going back and forth.
I'll probably be in charge of that.
Yeah. Gathering the resources and getting that built. So if players are interested in that, we'll need miners and and people that are good with redstone and everything to help.
Mm.
We'd like to do that in survival instead of creative, so it'd be more fun to build giant tunnels going through the map in survival. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's rude.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, you guys are on the server.
Yeah.
That is very rude.
Are we done?
All right, Kyle, you can start recording.
Okay.